terminally ill shouldn't mean you have to suffer through days, months, even years of painful symptoms and side effects. Dying without dignity should just be a basic human right. But I'm going to be talking about why I think assisted suicide should be legal in all states, and if not legal in all states, that states shouldn't require, the states that do allow assisted suicide shouldn't require proof of residency in order to receive the treatment and care that you need. Let's imagine a person. They are 25 and they just got diagnosed with stage 4 terminal lung cancer. They may have the rest of their life to live, but all of those years will be filled with pain and suffering, unbearable suffering. Do you know what it's like to not be able to breathe?
Yeah.
Like, they're not, like, it's gonna suck. Would you ever put somebody through that? In 1997, there was a Supreme Court case called Washington versus Glucksberg that ruled that assisted suicide was not a right protected under the federal Constitution. It is only legal in 9 states, and one requires a court order to deem you acceptable to receive assisted suicide. So one thing that I'm going to talk about is a physician's ethics code. So these are basically like the rules and like mindset that a physician lives by in order for them to give care to people. So one must provide appropriate comfort and care and adequate pain control. One should not abandon a patient once it is determined that the cure is impossible. One must respect patients' autonomy, and one must provide good communication and emotional support. I think specifically this one is important, and that's basically one of the reasons why they're holding back on assisted suicide. There's also another thing. It's called a DNR order, if anyone knows what that is. It's a do not resuscitate order. So basically, when you go into any sort of cardiac arrest or you're not breathing, this order prohibits doctors from being able to resuscitate you and allow them to like bring you back to life. So basically, rather than you ending your suffering in a peaceful way, the only way out of just going and dying with dignity is you suffering through the pain of dying. So suffocating, basically, which is quite brutal, honestly. So one way to change is to basically allow the legalization in every state, but that's obviously not possible because like states don't believe in that. So the next best thing is to remove the requirement of the proof of residency in states that allow assisted suicide. These are the 9 states plus the District of Columbia that have assisted suicide legal. So I think that there's also clauses that should be put in place. So if I believe that a person should be deemed mentally capable to make the decision to end their own life if they are indeed suffering. And I think you should also only be able to receive assisted suicide if there is absolutely no cure for your illness, or the treatment for your pain and your illness causes extensive pain. They were out of order. Let's go back to like a visualization standpoint. Let's pretend that 25-year-old person was a dog, right? So when dogs are suffering, if you have a family pet, you put a dog down because they are suffering and you don't want them to suffer anymore because they cannot communicate to you that they are suffering. But if a human is suffering and communicating to you that they don't want to live through the suffering anymore, they have to live through it because they're forced to be put through that, you know? Thank you.